Yeah.
Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky, the supplement engineer. Joining all of us, as always, is my international band of brothers and industry insiders in Shane Smith, Stack.com, Robert Samborsky, Apollon Nutrition, and the birthday boy himself, Lukasz Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology. Lukasz, my friend, how does it feel to be old as fuck?
Fuck. You don't want
to be
closer
to 40.
Say it again?
Yeah, I'm approaching bad lines, man. It's like I'm chasing Robic, but he's super fast, you know.
And Lukasz, you've sent us a number of goodies from Poland over the years, so here is some Polish Zdroka. We're gonna do we're gonna do a shot for Lukasz's birthday on air.
Thanks, man.
Ah, there we go. Lukasz's birthday shot. That's really good. It's so good. There's like a unique flavor in there. Like it's not just anybody that's had plain vodka. It's just like it's either burns or it's so distilled and refined that it doesn't taste like anything. But the Zdroka's got this wonderful little like peppery cinnamony kind of note in it too. It's really or spice, almost like a pumpkin pie spice kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
Delicious.
I'm glad you liked it.
So what's the big plan?
So here's wait. Okay, wait. I thought we were gonna get. No, continue the conversation. You said big, so I thought we were going into it, but no. Continue, Lukasz. Keep going.
Let's move on.
Okay. So
we have some comments. I've got to do. I've got to do the
fuck
spiel
the
first.
comments. No. Fuck the comments. Fuck the algorithm. Okay. So, how do you create a supplement line, and you do a weekly podcast with us, and this never comes up? And to your credit, I sat there when I saw it. I was like, to be fair, if he had mentioned this even a little bit, I would have been on it like that fucking evening. But you didn't think to mention it? Like, hey guys, I know this podcast is about supplements, and I'm actually doing a brand. It seems like it should have come up rather than the fucking day that you dropped it in a little podcast and here and there, and oh yeah, by the way, it's launching tomorrow. I was like, the fuck, where's the hype, man? The hell?
Lukasz, you want to get off the air with me because seems like it's personal. Shane is on fire. He's gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I understand why he kept it secret, because if he had let slip a little bit, I probably would have leapt on it. But come on, not even like a little bit. Like, hey, I'm working on something. Hey guys, I'm working on our brand. No, just drops the bomb. Don't tell anyone. And then I find out from Lukasz, and then Robert's like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm working on. I did this.
Surprised.
It's mine."
I was surprised, just like Shane, man. I was like,
I was so surprised that when Lukasz messaged that little group chat, I was like, "Nah, he's fucking lying. Obviously, Lukasz has misunderstood the English or something." And Robert's like, I was like, maybe he's not interpreted it right. And Robert's talking about working with a brand formulation wise. No, it was true. Full line of supplements. Robert, Steve Shaw, Massive Iron Supplements. 5 to start, I believe. One of which is available for pre-order already. Dropping late March, I believe. That's what they said. Yeah, we got a multi, a pre-workout, vitamin D and K, joint supplement in the works, and then the complex creatine. Okay, look at that. Remember it right off the top of my head, because, I pay attention, but you never mentioned it. Anyway.
In my defense, last week I said I'm working on something, and Shane, you said, I think I know what you might be talking about, Robert.
Well, that could have fucking meant anything. I'm working on something. I'm working on dinner. I don't know. I'm working on my house. I'm working on myself. I'm working on my personality. Could have been a million things.
I'm going to need more of this as the show goes on.
Anyway, whatever. Okay. Care to explain or provide a little more about your new brand that is actually, it should be part yours. You have a stake in, you said, with Steve Shaw.
Yeah.
2 industry veterans, it seems.
Correct, Brooke. This is a surprise. It's been in the works.
I wouldn't say the best kind, but yeah, it's not a bad one.
So there's it's a complex issue to a certain extent, but
I'm not, simplify it.
Simplify it. I don't really like to talk about myself a lot, and I just like to do the work and let the work speak for itself. So, I mean, Robbie has been kind enough to let me help formulate with some of his products over the years, but I don't go around blasting all like, I'm the world's greatest formulator. I'm an industry thought leader. I do this, that, and
Just leave it up to me. I'll do it for you.
Right. I don't do that. I just put the products out there. I put my work out there and let it see for itself. Some brands choose to give me credit for the work I do with them. Others don't. And I don't really care. Let's make this. So, when I got into the industry, I crossed paths with Steve back in 2016. And he's always been kind of like the Obi-Wan to my Luke Skywalker. Like he said, hey, he's been instrumental in helping me branch out and grow like the supplement engineer brand, break away from just writing, getting paid 2 cents a word to being able like a full-time freelancing career where I'm making a decent amount of money each month or each year and all of that stuff. So he's been very, very instrumental in just kind of guiding me and helping me realize, giving me the confidence kind of like that boost in addition to Sandy's support, saying, hey, you've got something here. You're a really sharp guy. You write really well. You should be able to put this out, sell yourself, market yourself. You can be a really good force for this industry. So he's always been kind of in the back works. And so he knows all the shit that's gone on over the years and all the backdoor stuff that's gone on in the industry and whatnot. And so him and I have always worked together, and he was the editorial director at Tiger Fitness. And that's when him and I first crossed paths in 2016. And so we were working together. I was doing articles, 4 or 5 articles for Tiger Fitness a month there. Steve officially broke off on his own. I think late 2019 is when he fully went out on his own and started up. He's always had the Massive Iron channel, I think, for almost a decade now. And he's also started the Super Living Today site. So last year when the world went to hell in a handbasket, we started doing a weekly live Q&A every Friday. We're on there for like 2.5 hours. People come and ask us questions about training, diet, nutrition, supplementation, all kinds. What are our favorite bourbons and liquors and beers and all that other stuff. And so we do that. And then so we grew up and we started a members only site there for the Massive Iron Insiders, where it's basically like micro coaching. People can come get personalized supplementation stacks. I put up private members only articles. Steve gives custom training advice and training programs on there. We've got masterclass videos, informational webinars and things like that we're working on as well. And we thought, hey man, I'm always recommending pre-workouts to people and post-workouts, protein powders. Steve said, why not just start this as kind of like a little side hustle, see what we can do. We're not looking to build this into the Cellular Core or Optimum, although if it turns into that, that's it's fucking phenomenal. I'll take that money all day long. But this is just kind of a side thing to say, hey, there's no holds bar, kind of like the way we formulate with Apollon, Robbie. Look, no holds bar. Let's put out some really cool shit, and we'll sell it direct to consumer. This Massive Iron line is going to be strictly direct to consumer. We're not going into brick and mortar or anything like that. And we're just going to say, hey, Robert, go be the kid in the candy store. Have fun, come up with some cool shit that isn't just the same basic mundane stuff that you see recycled over and over again. And we'll just go from there. I'm not going out saying this is the best formula. This is the only thing you should ever buy, because like I said earlier today, Robbie, there's a lot of really cool shit on the market. There's a lot of really good formulas. There's a lot of really smart individuals. This is just kind of my spin, and we're selling products to, Steve's base. And if we can pull in some other people from some other brands that want to try it out and just, rotate in some other things, that would be, that's all there is to it. So the Massive Iron line, Steve approached me for it, and we've kind of grown this partnership together. So we started the official Massive Iron LLC. We're equal partners in it. The first thing is going to be the creatine, which is available for pre-order. We're starting with a 200 unit order, and then we're going to take all of the profits from that and directly roll that right into the next supplement. And we're just going to keep doing that. We're not pulling any money from this. We're not taking any profit or any kind of money from like that. Everything we make from the products is going directly back into the brand to grow it, release more units, release all of that, fund the next line of products, and do all of that stuff. So it's, the writing and consulting that I'm doing is still the driving force of income for me, but this is going to be kind of like a fun little side stream project that's going to grow, and all of that. So that's what we're starting with. And the massive creatine that we did, we said, Steve's kind of a thing is like, hey, a lot of brands start with either a protein powder or pre-workout. Steve said, look, if we can't make creatine sexy and get people to buy that, we have no business in the supplement industry. And if he ever comes on the Final Scoop with us, he can elaborate on this more. He says, hey, what can you do? And I had the idea. I said, well, let's run the creatine product, but let's make it a little bit more than just a standard creatine. And I'm not trying to do this like say we're making a better creatine, because we've seen creatine ethyl ester, we've seen creatine hydrochloride, creatine magna power, buffered creatine, crealkaline. All these other things that claim to be a better creatine, they're all bullshit. None of them have surpassed monohydrate. So that's not what this is. We're not claiming this is a better creatine monohydrate. This is kind of a creatine plus product. That's the reason we call it a creatine plus, is that it's got creatine in it as the base ingredient, but we're adding in all these fun other little ingredients that kind of support ATP production from various pathways. So the D-ribose is an important structural component, the backbone of ATP. We've got Elevate ATP, which encourages your cells to just naturally produce more ATP and increase whole blood levels of ATP. And then we've also got Synactive, which is going to help out with senescent cells clearance, improve citrate synthase, which is an enzyme in the ATP production cycle. So we're attacking ATP enhancement from all these different various pathways while still giving 30 servings. That's going to be unflavored, so it can be added to their pre, intra, post workout or any other time of day, just to kind of boost it up and give you some creatine to give you the staple, but kind of put like a little bit fun twerk on it to make it just that little extra something. So that's kind of everything in a nutshell right there. So the reason I kept it quiet is because I don't like to be the face of things. I don't want to be the lead man on it. So when you put my name first in the article, I thought, oh shit.
I did that on purpose.
But yeah, I mean, I just like to let the work do it, my writing and stuff like that, man. So it's cool. It was an honor to be asked by Steve, just like it's an honor when Robbie asks me or any other company asks for my input and stuff. It's a fun project. I'm excited to what, but and for all the listeners tuning in, don't make the mistake. Like, I'm not going to be on here and just shilling my line or or just shilling Apollon stuff or anything like that. If you ask us a question, I'm going to give you an honest feedback.
Use my code.
Yeah, use Lucas's code, STIMS20.
To get your 20% off.
But I mean, yeah, if you got any other questions, feel free to.
I have some questions. So, you were mentioning that it's intended to be the sort of premium advanced approach, which is obvious with the creatine plus. Mm-hmm. What was the reason behind the vitamin K, D and K? I thought that was like, because when you said premium and then you mentioned that, I was like, that doesn't seem like it is a unique little fit, but I feel like that's got to be one of your most cost-effective or lowest-priced products, I would imagine.
Yeah, and that comes more out of a lot of the questions we get on the Massive Iron Live Q&As. A lot of people have been asking us about D3, K2, and people are just naturally low in D3 and K2 because K1 is readily available in the diet, and the body can convert vitamin K1 to K2, but it's very inefficient, sort of the same way that the body can convert the plant-based forms of omega-3 fatty acids, so it can convert ALA into EPA and DHA, but it's very inefficient in doing that. So we thought, hey, let's do MENA-Q7, MK7, is what we're going to do with that. Pair it with D3, because there's also some really new, interesting research that came out showing really good cardiovascular benefits for the D3-K2 combo. So, and that's just going to be kind of like an add-on. So we'll do that, and maybe we'll start doing some stacks that can come together, and we'll put that as a little add-on there, because we know it's going to be a low-cost thing. But these are going to be the rest of the lineup. So the multi is going to be not your standard multi. The pre-workout, I've got some base level ingredients for that. It's not going to be cheap. For the creatine plus that we did, I had one other ingredient in there. I had CoQ10 in there, but it was adding $7 to the upfront costs of the thing.
Oh, so yeah. You mentioned that.
Super freaking expensive already. The product. So creatine is the second cheapest ingredient in there. D-ribose is the most expensive. I mean, that's adding over $6 a tub to the product right there for the costs. And obviously, we're only putting in an order for a couple hundred units right now, just to kind of get our feet wet and do all of that. And we'll build it as the demand and outreach grows. And as you order more quantities, that order will come down. But yeah, that was when I saw that, I thought, CoQ10 is another cool ingredient for like mitochondrial health, improving ATP production through yet another different mechanism. But at the same time, I thought, is the end user, can I justify adding that extra cost for the end user? Are they actually going to get some kind of tangible, noticeable, real world significant benefit from it? And I just thought, at this point, no, I don't really. I mean, we're not afraid of putting out an expensive product because, like we said, we want it to be premium. But at the same time, I'm not going to put something in there if I don't think somebody's going to actually be able to get some kind of difference from it.
That was my next question, was about how premium are we talking? Because the creatine, $30 I still think is quite reasonable. Ghost says Ghost Size, that's a creatine that's well within a realm of I think that's like 30 or 40. I can't remember the exact price. Multi, obviously, even though you're going premium, I don't suspect that being above 40. The D and K would be in the lower realm. The joint support, the same as the multi. The pre-workout's the one that I was interested the most in, because you said premium. How premium are we talking? Are we talking, because all your other supplements seem to be like they're in that 30-40 realm, whereas if you're talking Apollon pre, we're talking Like you're most expensive by like 50%.
Yeah, I mean the joint and the pre-workout are going to be in that range because here's another
wow.
little nugget, Shane. Aside from Massive Iron, the Apollon joint formula is okayed, and we're
you're
going to
taking
be
cocaine.
putting that into production. We've got 2 flavors of the Apollon joint formula, and the Massive Iron one I'm working on is going to be similar to that one. I don't know if we're going to go powder or pill with that one yet, but it's going to be expensive. I think, what do we have in the Apollon joint formula, Robbie? We put 10 or 12 ingredients in there?
10 or 12 ingredients, and I can say this. I mean, obviously,
Not cheap.
I won't disclose the actual number because we're still playing around. I mean, you're playing around more than anyone with the formula itself. But I can say this: the most expensive Apollon product, to no surprise, would be Double Impact. I mean, that's the most expensive product that we've ever released, and that's the reason why it's basically the profit margin on that, unless we sell direct, is pretty much non-existent. Considering the price, and if you sell, we only sell to like 5 or 6 stores, but with also money being donated to the breast cancer foundation and everything else, so that's the most expensive. But I would say the joint formula is actually as expensive, if not more expensive, than Double Impact. So we have Double Impact Resistance and the joint formula, but I think, as far as I remember, the joint formula is the most expensive, and the whole idea behind it was to let, even though we're partnering with Robert on this, but the whole idea was, because obviously I trust him wholeheartedly when it comes to formulas, I just said, you know what, go nuts and create the one that you actually can be proud of. This is going to be a huge challenge, and I can disclose this. We pretty much talked about this. To sell this to a retailer is going to be a bitch. I mean, it's going to be close to impossible. I can't see too many retailers buying this product because it's just way too expensive for a joint formula. From a health perspective and from the benefit and selling it direct, I can easily say that nothing like this has ever been done. It's just a whole other level because, again, there was no such thing where Robert and I had a meeting. We didn't even have a meeting about this. We just bullshitted on the phone, came up with an idea, and, okay, Robert, go nuts. And that's it. But we didn't have, okay, let's have a limit of $10 or $12 or $6 or whatnot.
We blew that out of the water. We're looking at right now. We're over. I'm not going to give the exact numbers, but we're between $15 and $18 cost of goods before all the other stuff is added on there.
Yeah, because before the marketing and the labels and the containers and all that, it's a very, very, very expensive product. So, but the whole point was, it's just for Robert to create whatever he wants and feels the best, and something that would be beneficial to people. So I don't know about as much about the other products that he did with Steve, but I can say this with if I'm not surprised that they decided to go direct to the consumer, because to sell something like that to a retailer, I mean, I'm not saying that there are no retailers that would not purchase it. There are, because there are some premium guys that want to carry premium products, but let's face it, the majority of them, they just want cheap shit that they can sell for top dollar. So that's it.
Yeah, it's fun. And I got to give some big credit to Joey at Glaxon, because we were some serious flavoring challenges with our joint formula, and he said, hey, why don't you pull this, because he does all the flavoring for Glaxon and samples and all of that stuff. And he said, hey, what about swapping this ingredient for that ingredient? And so he's been a huge help with getting this thing tasting good, which is getting our everything over there. So this isn't all me. It's been a tag team effort, which has been really good. And so I'm happy of the flavor samples. We got 2 flavors right here that we tasted this past week. Sandy and I tasted both of them. The flavor is awesome. I really like it, and I'm excited to see it come out.
These are 100% confirmed, right? These are 100% confirmed, the flavors that you tried with Sandy.
Yeah, pomegranate lemonade and orange mango grapefruit.
That sounds good.
So I don't know if we're going to change the names. Maybe, Robbie, we can come up with something cooler sounding than pomegranate lemonade. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll probably talk about it next week and just play around with the names, because I mean, it's always cool for the coolness of it, and for the marketing purposes, it's always cool. But like I said, there are certain companies that cannot when I talked recently to the manufacturer, I think I told you about this, and he started changing the formula that I would submit for cost. And basically his thing was, and Shane and I discussed this, and he was like, "Oh, I'm trying to save you money." The moment people see that, that Apollon is cutting corners, we're fucked. I mean, we've seen, Rob, it actually was on Shane's page, Robert's criticism of ProSubs, and we talked about it yesterday. I mean, that formula is just atrocious. I mean, and
which one are we talking about?
The pre-workout was
extreme one. I just don't consider it extreme. That was my question. Why are we calling it extreme when it's
and we're talking about.
To be fair, it is extreme compared to the rest.
Well, yes, but if you go back a few years ago, ProSubs, Jackal, I mean, it was on a whole other level, and those faithful customers that love that brand. I mean, obviously, it's a huge disappointment. And I think Apollon is even more so, because the moment we release something soft, I think we're going to be in deep shit. We're going to be in trouble. So I think it's very important. And the same goes for Robert's reputation. If his name is attached to somebody, to a product, I think people will expect something top notch. I mean, sure, he can get paid and work with some company and they're going to design some dog shit. But the thing is that if he is a part owner of the company like he is right now, 50-50, there are certain expectations, and people that know him, they want top-notch product because they know that he researches products and ingredients, and they're not going to expect from him some trademarked fancy name that has hardly any evidence of it working.
Sorry.
They're going to expect something top-notch, and I think that those are the people that are going to be willing to pay a certain price because they want a top product, and it's pretty simple, I think.
Yeah, I mean we're just trying to raise the bar, like the bottom bar of the supplement industry, and so I'm not going to shit on the BOGO brands and all that stuff. Like, if people just want to buy a standard creatine monohydrate, that's perfectly fine. I mean, there's a reason creatine exists. It's awesome. It always works. But if you're looking to do something a little special, you want to just try something really kind of cool, or just do something a little bit different, that's what this is for. So,
you know what?
Yeah.
To be honest, when I saw the labels at first, my first reaction was, I saw this somewhere, and I was like, man, right? NWA. And I was like, what,
Lukasz?
It kicks.
I tell you what. I haven't seen a CD in a fucking long time, so I think you're showing your age, Luke.
That's fucking old I am, man.
So I mean that was part of the reason, and there was one other reason I don't go around publicizing all that stuff, because there's a lot of ego in the industry and insecurities with people.
What?
And so
no.
When I've in the past, when I've said, hey, I'm doing this,
I have never experienced any of that, especially on a weekly basis.
Right. And so, if I say, hey, I've helped with this, or I've interviewed these people, or I've reviewed this, I've had brands call me up and say, why the fuck are you reviewing this person's products? Why are you having them on your podcast? And so I thought, do I really want to get in with all this? So that's why I try to keep even lower profile. Just let me do my work. I don't want to get involved in the drama and all this stuff. And so that's why I just try to.
You should run this bitch with Shane, and that would be all. Me and Robic are just like a fucking icing. That's all.
So yeah, I mean that's part of it too. I like to let the work speak for itself. I'm not a big self-promotion hog or anything like that. So
yeah, but you gotta. I mean, you're a brand owner now. You are a brand owner. The only other person in the conversation right now that can be considered a supplement brand owner is Robic. You gotta show a bit. You gotta drop a peak sometimes.
And your product is not even released yet, and you're already unstacked.
I know, and that's and Shane, that's what Steve and I did our live yesterday, and we were live when the article actually dropped, and I just I can't thank you enough for putting up there. I didn't ask
in the morning.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for my check still.
Robert, he's still pissed. You didn't disclose the information to him before.
Shane,
the thing was, it just got more surprising. I was like, oh, I might not even find an image. Then I found an image. Oh, lo and behold, it's available for pre-order. I was like, holy shit. had the label on. Even had other products on there as well. I was like, oh my lord. And he didn't want to say anything.
No, I like to play things close to the vest, but
No. There's close to the vest, and then there's just like saying absolutely nothing.
I have a funny story for you. So a couple of days ago, I was introduced to I'm not going to say who it is, but he's a known manufacturer. At least I've known about him. A lot of people know about him, but he's pretty well known. So I was introduced to him, and he sent me an email. Well, it was actually between three of us. And sure, but it was not very fired up. You can tell that he's established. So he wasn't like, dying to work with me or anything like that. It wasn't like one of those small manufacturers. So he sent an email. Yeah, sure. Send me one of your formulas. We'll quote it, and that's it. Okay. So I sent the formula. That was probably like Monday or Tuesday. And, it was actually Kumite. I sent it to like 2 or 3 different manufacturers that I deal with. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to send this guy Kumite to quote and to have a look at it. So everybody already got back to me except him. So yesterday I sent him an email, and I was like, oh, okay. I said, we talked on Monday. I haven't heard from you. Just wanted to know your thoughts. Like, what did you think about it? So he sends me this. I think it was kind of arrogant email a little bit. He goes to me, oh, you know what? We actually quoted you in 2017 or 2018. So, nothing came about it. And that's it. So you kind of like slammed me. I'm like, what the fuck? 2017, 2018, that was like, we just started the company. We were ordering like 200 units or something. So I sent him an email back, and I was like, what does 3 years ago have to do with where we are right now? I said, the company's in a different stage. Everything is completely different. And, we talked. You promised that you're going to send me a quote. I said, if you don't want to work with us, I said, that's fine. I said, but that's kind of arrogant, I said, to bring up something that was 3 years ago. I said, doesn't show a great customer service, if you know what I mean. And that's it. So I said, have a nice day, and that's it. I get an email within probably an hour apologizing to me. So the guy goes, he says, oh, I'm very, very sorry. He says, I looked you up. You actually highly praised on Stacked. You have a very, very good brand. I apologize. He says, by all means, you're going to have the quote, and I hope it doesn't affect our relationship.
What?
I'm like, what the fuck?
Was this?
I'll tell you later. So 10, 15 minutes later, I get a quote. If the price is too high, please visit our offices. Let me know. We can set up a meeting. I would be honored to work with Apollon Nutrition.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was like fucking laughing my ass off. So
that's good.
That was so funny. So thank you, Shane.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know these people.
I don't know.
I'm still like, I still think that it was kind of arrogant of him. That was like very, very unprofessional. But at the same time, it came out funny.
Yeah, we deeply appreciate the coverage, man. And that's one thing I mentioned on the live yesterday is that it doesn't matter if you are Muscle Tech, Cellucor, Optimum, or you are Massive Iron or any brands in between. Like, you give everybody equal coverage. I didn't ask you or pay you to write the post on there. Yeah, shit, I didn't even tell you the brand was launching, and you had everything covered. So,
Robert, you're gonna get an invoice. Trust me.
I probably will. So, thank you guys so much for all the
problem now is the
stuff. And there's gonna be there's lots of cool stuff. Like, so, I mean, we've got the Massive Iron line. We definitely got some cool stuff there. I'm really excited about the joint formula with Robbie and the new Kumite we're working on, and a few other things. Some other maybe general health things. I won't spoil anything, Robbie, but we got some general health things maybe coming out too.
Do what I do. After you get off the air, make sure to send Shane a text message, and everything's going to be peaceful and nice.
Okay, good. Well, here, Shane, I'll leak a little bit of the joint formula to you too. Okay.
Just leak it now. Just a big deal.
We'll see. I'll tell you, it's 11 ingredients. I counted it. It's 11 ingredients.
You have to. I was thinking about this the other day. See, back in 2012 when I wrote about like 20 brands, because that was really the amount that existed. You could do things. There weren't any teasing. There wasn't like, hey, we got this. Hey, we're thinking about doing this category. You didn't get that. It was just, hey, here's the product. Oh, you want the formula? Here it is too. And then in 2015, 14, it kind of shifted when the Grey Stims got out, and they had to hype things differently. And then you had the competition come on board, and now you're to the point where to hype, you can do things like confirm a category, confirm an ingredient, confirm a dose, confirm this. I was like, it's a different game. So while your strategy of boom, here it is, may have worked in 2012, that's not necessarily the case anymore, because you're competing with. I mean, the amount of brands I get daily, and I feel bad sometimes. Like I have an industry friend, and he says you're too nice. I'm too nice for the industry, because I had a guy reach out and he said he ordered 144 bottles or something. He didn't say this initially. He reached out. He says, hey, I was wondering if I could feature on Stacked. I've been following for a while and I'm starting a brand. And he sends me the information, and I'm like, okay, I have to put you in the queue. Like, we have a list of maybe 300 brands. We have to wait and take them one by one by one. Right. And he messages me like 2 weeks later. He's like, hey, we just got our run of 144 units. I'm really hoping to turn this into a full-time job. And, you know, I've got a wife and a child to support. And I was like, oh, man. And I was just breaking down. So I wrote about it that day, but I felt so. I have this tendency when people tell me these stories and these things, I'm just like, fuck it, screw everyone who came before you. This needs to happen now.
Yeah.
And then when yours came along, I was like, this is a no-brainer. This needs to go up today. And you were asleep to answer any questions, so I was like, well, fuck it. If I take anything wrong, it's too bad.
No, it was perfect, man. You nailed everything spot on. I don't know if I would have said muscle builder, but creatine's a muscle builder. So I'm kind of saying it's a comprehensive ATP support product. But I mean, muscle builder works. That's fine.
The trick was
honestly, I fucked up because I didn't remember all the formulas, and I was at the gym when I was writing to Shane, and I was like, yeah, he said five products, and I sent Shane like 4. I was like, What was the last one? And I was doing the bicep curls, you know, and I was on my 10th rep, I remembered. And I was like, oh yeah, fucking creatine. And I went straight back to my phone and I write it straight away from to Shane. Oh, that's creatine.
Yeah, it didn't take me long to find the website.
You'll get dibs on everything. And here's an early spoiler for the pre-workout. It'll have caffeine in it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need a little more than that. Next thing you're gonna tell me it's gonna come in powder form. Okay, I need. Now you went from I'm not gonna say shit to now it's got caffeine in it. Yay! I don't understand. You need it in between.
Let me get your guys' opinions on it. So I want to have 2 forms of caffeine in the pre-workout because I always like that when it's in there. What do you think is like a good total payload? I'm kind of thinking 325. I don't know if I want to go up to 350 or not.
You asking us?
Yeah. I'm just because
Lukasz is going to say a gram. Robert will be like 600, and then I'll say anywhere from 300 to 500, and you're going to be like, "Huh? Well, that's any dose, really." So,
yeah. So I function really well anywhere between 250 to 350. I can go higher, but I'm trying to. I don't know where to. And see, this is part of the problem because like when Robbie and I are working together on a formula, like he brings something here, and I'll add some tweaks here, and then we kind of go back and forth. This thing, man, it's like. Steve just said, hey, go do this. And I'm thinking, it's kind of like somebody walking up and say, cook the best meal of your life. What do you want? And I'm thinking, oh. Well.
I think that, honestly, like, you know, all bullshit aside, I think that you have 2 possibilities. Number one is do what works for you specifically. So it's like your signature. So if your take is 350, stick to that. If you have a specific market in your mind, like, I don't know, power lifters or something like that, like a specific target market, then go with fuck what you want. Just go with what they want. You know, so those are the 2 possibilities. I don't think you should go in between to try and please, you know, both. You have to go with one, either signature, what works for you, and specifically your favorite kind of like your signature line. Okay, these ingredients and these dosages work for me. So I'm putting out a product that I would take. or you can go and say like, fuck what I want. It's like when we had that chocolate. I think you tried that chocolate before I tried it, because I'm no chocolate, no
Best
chocolate
on the
whatsoever.
market.
I actually, went and everybody raved about it. And I was like, I think we had it for about 2 or 3 years before I actually was willing to try it. I didn't even try it because the thing is like, I'm not interested in chocolate. So as long as you identify either who your target is, or you want to go like, well, fuck the target. I'm just going to go with what I believe and what I need. And I'm proud of it. I mean, you're still going to have the consumer on either side. But I mean, of course, if you target, say, powerlifters, then, it doesn't matter what you want. It's what they want. And that's it. So I think it's pretty simple, because I think that, everybody identifies with, they either try to save money, which obviously is not your case because you're trying to put out a premium product, and direct to consumers. So it gives you a little bit more leverage.
Yeah.
I agree with the 400.
400, 300, 400 range, Brooke.
I think it's
350.
I think the answers you're getting right here are like pure proof. While Apollon's got that signature, like it's one of the things it's known for is the high caffeine. So my argument with the 600 and then do half a scoop is it's the same argument with a women's pre-workout, right? Like you can just be like, oh, women can take half the amount, but then you get half the citrulline, half the beta-alanine, and half this.
Right.
I agree.
So I always say some things you can play around with to get people's attention and to target a specific market, like Robert was saying, for powerlifters. But there are some ingredients where, like, if you want to hit a lot of people, you can't go being crazy. Like Cellucol, I mean, just as an example, C4 Extreme. I don't imagine that the amount of caffeine that goes into that, I imagine that they've put a huge amount of research and thought into that, a lot more than you probably think. And I mean, they have millions of dollars riding on this shit. So I imagine that if they increased it by 1 milligram to get more sales, they would do so.
Yeah.
So I would think that the closer you get to that middle ground, the bigger the audience. So I like that 350, 400, because you can always, at least with caffeine, you can always add, right? Just take a sip of an energy drink and you can't take it out. That's the downside with it.
Yeah.
And it's, I would say I like the 400. 400 is a good level.
Okay. All right. That's where I'm. Right now it's at 325. I was thinking about pushing at 350. We'll see.
325, I believe, is the limit in Australia. Just if you're wondering.
Okay, well that's good because right now we're just telling everybody, hey, it'll ship, and our manufacturer's been really awesome as far as like helping us get off the ground with these and handling a lot of the shipping and stuff for us. So that'll be interesting if we start selling these things overseas and we just do the a drop ship service or something like that. If 325 is the max, then that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, no, Australia I think 325 if you sell in the stores. If you ship internationally, from what I know, they'll just let it in.
Yeah, everything. Okay, all right, well that works. No, my face is not going on anything.
Oh, yes.
Not
no,
even
you're right. No. Not on the label. It needs to be a sticker.
Just going to be big eyes.
On the. You know, we should put it underneath the lid. So people unscrew the lid and then they put the lid down. They're like, holy shit.
Fuck you.
Scare the shit out.
And they see you looking up at them and they're just like, oh my God.
Don't skip leg day.
Or put your face at the bottom of the tub. So when it gets empty, you can see your eyes peeking through and they'll be like, oh shit, what is this? Perfect.
Don't touch the light, man.
I'm gonna have to. I'll talk to our manufacturer, see if we can do that.
These are ideas you can toy around with. Yeah, it's free of charge. We're just throwing them out.
Park. I thought once creatine was fully saturated, the body couldn't take any more or use it. No, I mean there's going to be some natural rate of decay from one day to the next. You're taking the 5 grams a day just to make sure you keep your stores topped off. Yeah. I'm going to let Robbie answer this question.
This is what Lukasz is talking about.
Fuck no.
There we go.
No, if he's going to send it to anyone, it has to be somebody legit.
I say send it. Send it. Just, I don't know.
You got connections there, man.
Is this question? I think this question's for Apollon. This question isn't about massive iron.
Oh no, it's definitely for massive iron.
Well, that's definitely for massive iron.
I was thinking about exactly the same thing. It was for massive iron.
We are not. If anybody wants to support our brand and pay for that, they are more than welcome to pay for it and review it. We're not going to be sending out any free tubs.
I was actually going to order it, but then I was like, oh, you know what? I'll actually wait. No offense, but the pre-order, that's a long wait. I'm a sucker for those things. I'm like, nah, dude. I need it closer.
Well, that and the shipping costs to New Zealand would be astronomical. I mean, if you pay more for shipping than you would for the tub.
Trust me on this. The amount of shit I've paid for some things will blow your mind. Like, I shipped a case of an energy drink. I won't say which one, but it was extremely disappointing. I shipped that one from the UK, and it cost me $250 US all up to get 8 cans. So the thing that I don't really mind if it's something that I'm interested, if it's got a good reaction on Stacked and people want to see and hear, then I will go buy it. I shipped a couple of boxes of the Bear Bells protein bar flavors when they launched from Sweden for 400. I think it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, these things get stupid, but I'd pay for the creatine. I just want a closer pre-order date.
Yeah, well, that's what we're working with the manufacturer right now, and they said they can have it pretty. It's as soon as we put in the order and everything, it's like a 2 to 3 week turnaround time because it's pretty quick. They've got the bottles and the ingredients already on order. Plus, nixing the CoQ10 helped a lot because they would have had to order that fresh. And something that the consumers may not know or the listeners may not know is that there's certain forms that are water soluble and certain forms that are only like good for capsules. And so the kind that you would have to use in a powder if you were going to mix it up like we're going to do with everything else is only like a 33% yield. So if we wanted to put in just 100 milligrams of active CoQ10, we'd have to actually put in like 300 or 333 milligrams of this certain form of the ubiquinol in there. So, and we've run into the same thing with the Apollon joint formula. There's certain kinds of turmeric that we were going to put in there that aren't water soluble, certain ones are, and so if we want to get something to dissolve 100% in there, get a nice really clean clear liquid in there, you've got to go for these more expensive ingredients or go something that's got some other kind of binding agent to it. So these are all kind of little nuggets that consumers you're not privy to, which that's one of the beauties of doing this kind of podcast is that we can kind of open your guys' eyes up to these things.
Which of the ProSubs pre-workouts were you? Because if you commented, I probably didn't see it. I turned comment notifications off, so.
It was the one that said extreme. I said, my comment, Robbie texted me after. He said, are you trying to pick a fight? I said, no. I said, my question was legitimate. I said, what's outside of the caffeine and yohimbine, what is exactly extreme about this? I mean, there's 25 milligrams of this and that and 50 milligrams or 25 milligrams of theanine. And I mean, it was a legitimate question. That things like game changing, the best, extreme are so overused these days. I'm just trying to understand. What the hell is extreme about this pre-work? I mean, I took Lukasz's Angel Dust this morning. I took half of it, and I've got the other half sitting right here.
See, extreme, I'm used to. Game changing bugs me because that's a factual thing, right? Like game changing, like seriously, what game are you changing? Like that, as game changing difficult. Extreme makes sense to me because I don't know. It's relative. I feel, for me at least. Like let's just say Robic did. A hooligan extreme, right? Mm-hmm. You would expect it to be more extreme than hooligan, right? Yeah. But then let's just say ProSubs does a height extreme. I don't think it makes sense for them to be like, well, no, that needs to be more extreme than Robic's extreme. No. Because then they're acknowledging brands outside of their own, and they want their own fans to understand that this is more extreme than this one. Not any more extreme than any other pre-workout. I've always understood it as like C4 Extreme is more extreme than C4 Sport. Mm-hmm. C4 Ultimate is more ultimate than C4. I've never really that's how I've understood it. Yeah. Like it's within their own brand because then again you're assuming that they're acknowledging their competitors and saying that this is like if you start saying game changing, that's a different story because then you are talking about things outside your own brand. But for me. With the ProSubs Extreme, I was like, to be fair, I mean, it is more extreme than the regular high pre-workout. It's not any more extreme than like
you see the problem is, and I think you're 100% right. I think that's what they mean. Unfortunately, it's not the way it's interpreted because if you remember, Hyde I think had 419 I think it was 419 milligram of caffeine back in the day, which was very, very high. The only ones who had higher was Apollon at the time, was 450. But I mean, Hyde was like pretty, extreme, especially, considering 5-6 years ago. So right now, when they have like 350 milligram of caffeine and pretty much everything else is kind of down, I think their own customers are going to be kind of turned away from it. And here's another issue is, again, you're right about what you said. When somebody has 200 milligram of caffeine and then the company releases 350, it's extreme by their own measure, by the company's measure.
Yeah.
The problem is that the supplement, the pre-workout market is so fucking saturated right now. And not only do you have legit, good, strong pre-workouts like Hooligan, like Hypermax, those are pretty strong pre-workouts, and they're legitimately good, reputable companies making actually legit products. But you also have the other spectrum. You have right now, supplements that are manufactured in somebody's basement on the prop blend, and they fucking spiked with all kind of shit, and they cost nothing to make realistically. And they also sold in stores, and they're pretty strong because there is no citrulline in it. I mean, maybe a gram, if that. Mostly just a lot of stimulants that are very, very cheap, thrown in a mix, spiked with God knows what. And now you have a product. And, there are review channels who are obviously, I don't want to say pushing those products, but they definitely sort of advertising them. So now you have a market of like those. And I hate the name Stim Junkies. I really, really hate the name Stim Junkies, because to me, that has nothing to do with athletic performance. That has nothing to do with actual performance in the gym. To me, that's pretty much borderline drug addicts, who just want to get high. So now when the company is releasing something that is called Extreme, I know what they mean.
Yeah.
And again, I wholeheartedly agree with everything you said, but they're setting themselves up for criticism. Case in point was NutraBio Extreme, which Review Brothers reviewed a couple of months ago, and that got a lot of support for Review Brothers and a lot of criticism for NutraBio, because the Extreme, I believe, is 350 milligram of caffeine, and it's just like Hooligan in terms of like it has nothing. It doesn't have alpha-yo, it doesn't have area-genesis, it doesn't have DHMA, none of those gray area products.
It had regular yohimbine, like regular NutraBio Extreme had yohimbine, but I think it still had the theanine in it. I'll pull it up right now and find out.
It had probably theanine, and I think the only reason why they called it Extreme was because of 10 or 15 milligram or grams of cluster dextrin. So when Review Brothers, who are reviewing, pre-workouts pretty much almost on a daily basis, and some of them are pretty powerful, when they saw the word Extreme, they go like, okay, well, this does not exactly feel extreme by any measure. So I think the company is kind of like setting themselves for a lot of criticism when it comes to it, even though I know, again, that you're right. They don't mean it in a negative way, or they don't trying to, to proclaim themselves that we're extreme and the strongest on the market. It's just very confusing.
It's like a double-edged sword, though. They have to...
Yes.
Because when you're like Hyde, you've got... Because they have Hyde icons, so they have their higher end, and that was the one that I believe Drew did when he was with them. So they have the higher end stuff, but I guess when you're in the brand situation and you're like, I got 5 pre-workouts, like I have to communicate some way that one is stronger than the base, and then I guess it's when you do that, you run the risk, like you say, because as consumers, you're not looking at it just the brand, you look, especially pre-workouts, but I think those are just more intended. I've always seen them as just intended to help diversify and explain. Like if everything was called C4 1 2 3 4 or C4 C5 C6 C7,
yeah.
I mean it would make sense, but you would be like So I guess when you attach these things like extreme, because even if you said hardcore, or even if you say ultimate, or even if you say like dynasty, and it's I guess it's a, like you say, it's a double-edged sword, because consumers are going to be like, no, well, this one's called extreme, and this is way more extreme.
Absolutely. I think that the companies could do that, and I still think because they don't necessarily intend it in a bad way. I just think that if they would kind of elaborate a little bit and explain, like, listen, we have this product, and we made a product that based on our original product is just a little bit edgier, but they would specify that. I think that, like you said, double sword situation is because they kind of like setting themselves up for criticism that is unnecessary. And every time we release either Hooligan or Assassin, the first thing I say, this is not the best pre-workout on the market. This is the best possibly pre-workout in its category. And it's by all means not for everybody. You know, it's not for beginners. It's for experience. And I feel like, you know, I feel at ease, and I feel like I did something right telling people, like, listen, it's not the best on the market. Everybody should be using it. There is nothing like it or anything like that. It's the same thing as somebody sent, I don't know if it was sent to me or to Apollon Nutrition. It was like, it was about Hooligan or Assassin. I don't remember what it was. He goes, like, the first question that he asked me about, and I try to answer every question, but the first question that he asked me, how does it taste? Does it taste good? And as soon as he asked me that question, my reply was, I don't think this is a pre-workout for you, because if you're looking for something that tastes amazing, there are a lot of great pre-workouts, you know, that taste good. You know, it's different. And it's the same thing, like Robert's been to Apollon Gym. Apollon Gym is this hardcore, you know, Shane, I sent you the video. It's like, it's a specific gym. Right across the street, we have a fitness center, also a gym, but it's more like commercial, more mainstream, called Zap Fitness. And when people come to us and they ask us questions such as, like, do you have classes? Do you have this? Do you have a swimming pool? Do you have a sauna? It's not like I've been criticized for it, believe it or not. The first thing I say, like, you know what, this is not a gym for you. And I mean it in the nicest possible way, you know, but if you go across the street, we have great relationship with those people. It's definitely something you're looking for. And I would get, like, what kind of a customer service are you providing? You're sending me to another facility. And I mean it in a good way. You know, I'm trying to be transparent. I try to be nice and actually send them to a place where they, you know, and actually, I have a funny story. Last week when I had my birthday, somebody called Apollon and he goes, hey, you know what? I live in the area and I wanted to join your gym. Do you have classes? Like, no, sir, we don't have classes. I was the one who picked up the phone. I said, we don't have classes, you know, it's like straight gym equipment, blah, blah, blah. You know, do you have any, you know, group activities and stuff like that? No, we don't. You know, it's a small facility. If you want to train with somebody, you know, maybe you can find a training partner or something like that. Everybody is nice, but, you know, we don't offer any of those. So he goes to me, you know what? Your gym is not for me. I'm like, okay, you know, that's fine. I said, it's not for everyone. And he goes, but let me tell you why. Your gym is for younger people, you know, but I'm in my mid-40s, so I'm an old man. This gym is not for me. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm turning 46 in a few days. Yeah. So, yeah, it's just one of those things where you kind of, you know, you have to be a little bit more transparent. And I think if, you know, like, if Hyde, ProSups or any of those companies that have extreme products or they consider extreme compared to the other products would be just a little bit more transparent and explain like you did, you know, guys, this is our more extreme, more stronger version of our original pre-workout. I think nobody, at least in the right mind, would pick on them. I wouldn't. I think it's stupid, you know. I think
Sayucor, to Sayucor's credit, they do that.
I've seen that,
multiple times. ProSubs probably does as well, like if someone asks. But I guess for them, you have, in today's world, in the attention span, you have what? You have 3 seconds, 5 seconds. They get to read the label. And they have to kind of understand the message in as little time as possible. And I guess a title is the easiest, like a headline, it's the easiest way to do it. If they'd called it Hyde, a little more extreme than Hyde pre-workout, it's probably a bit too long. So I guess they do their best, but I guess they bring them in and then they explain on their pages and then they explain, like we mentioned in our post, it's more extreme than the other pre-workouts. But it's not, again, it's a tricky, because you don't want to come out and say, hey, this is an extreme pre-workout for us, but it's not really that extreme compared to the world. So I understand why they do it. The game-changing thing, that one pisses the shit off of me, because that's in reference to the world. Everyone plays the same game.
I just announced the game-changing creatine product. I don't see what the problem is here, Shane.
Oh, look, it's already happening. It's already happening. He's just been a brand owner for 3 days and he's already changing.
And
I've got a game-changing joint formula. Robbie and I are working on a game-changing joint formula too.
I think that game changing is just initially when it came first out, like the name, and
Who
the
did
phrase,
it? Who was the first one who did it? I would love to know who ruined it for everyone.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was just Jim Stepani, but I'm not sure. But I wouldn't be surprised.
It predates. He never said game. Oh, did he?
I don't know, like, but his personality
I know
fits.
it predates Jim. I know it's before. I remember first seeing it around the DMAA phase. I think it would have been around there, 212, 211, because that was the time where before then you didn't really see people, like one person came out with a pre-workout and then everyone else came out with a similarly powerful pre-workout. Back in those days it was, oh, here's a new size on, and then someone else would do a new protein, and then someone else would do it was never everyone attack one category, bang, bang, bang. I suspect it would have been in that DMAA phase where everyone was just smoking the first category for such a long time that's when everyone was like, I need to game change it. I don't think it was from our industry either. I think it was someone would have got it from another industry.
Probably, but I think it might be a problem with the English language where they can't find the appropriate words to describe why they. I'm not saying necessarily better, but what's unique about their approach or their stuff. I mean, if you look at it, you can go on any page today, and even when people talk about flavors, and they're gonna say, "Well, that's a game-changing flavor." I'm like, "The fuck is wrong with you? There is nothing game-changing about a fucking flavor." But the thing is that they can't find the right words to describe certain, ingredients, or they cannot describe certain flavors, and they go for the same words, and it's like a standard word today. It's like almost like a, "Hey, bro," it's the same thing. It's a game changer.
It's like if your birthday was every day, it wouldn't be so special, right?
Right.
So I think game changer's just been hammered to the ground so much that the guys who probably do put together something that's somewhat game changing. I think the word that
we
carries
about,
more importance now is industry first.
Well, we talked about caged. What was it?
Microencapsulated
glutamine. I mean, that was a game changer. And then they released the pre-workout, which was also a game changer. And it's been only a few months. And, the game changer, both of those products, I don't see them anywhere. So I think like the company is definitely setting themselves up when they do something like that, because I think sooner or later, like you said, birthdays every day, sooner or later people will get tired of you. They will get tired of you repeating the same quote and the same, presentation about your product. And, they want something. They want a game-changing experience. But if you're going to feed them the same phrase and this over and over again without actually backing it up, sooner or later, I think the trust is definitely going to, it's going to suffer, and your credibility as a company is going to suffer too.
I give every brand one shot at saying game changer. When a brand says game changer the first time, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. I'm sucked in, and I'm like, they've done it. They've changed the game. This is it. I've got to upgrade to PS5. This is about to change. And then like they let me down, and then I'm just like, well, fuck you. I'm never listening to your bullshit again. I'll follow along, but then like I'll never get as excited if they say game changer again.
I agree.
Yep.
But I don't think I've ever been excited and delivered on the game changer.
Love that you're interested in combining old school tried and true ingredients, but willing to do the research with new ingredients. That's the way it should be with any formulator in the industry, any supplement brand. You rely on a base of tried and true stuff, and then you try to find some cool stuff to add to it. I mean, that's what anybody that I've worked with.
That's how you change the game with creatine, D-ribose, and a couple others.
I mean, that's what we did when we released Kumite. I mean, nobody had done anything like that really in that space either. So we always try to find something that's kind of cool and just tweak it a little bit. That's what part of the fun of making supplements is. You dive down a wormhole. Joey at Glaxon's great about doing that. Ben Hartman at Morphogen. There's a lot of good, really, really sharp guys doing some really cool shit in the industry, and so that's what we're all of us are just trying to just make better stuff. Raise the bar for supplements at all without overselling it and overhyping the shit out of something and saying it's game changing.
Did you see, to Robert? Did you see the Ironworks thing for the pump in iron pre-workout?
I saw it. I didn't read the entire story. What's up?
So I thought it would be interesting just to hear you, because I mean I had it explained to me and I communicated it well, but I thought it was a very so the ironworks thing that they've put in there combines with the nitrates to apparently create nitric oxide gas, or instant nitric oxide gas. It's elemental iron, patent pending. I was interested to know if you had any insight on it, because I had it explained to me, and that's apparently what they did or what they found in when they were using it and researching and studying. It's a new one.
Nitrates.
I don't have the I don't know like the dose, but apparently it's very important. The elemental iron is very that specific type of iron is yeah. It sounds extremely interesting, and when it was explained to me.
I haven't looked at that pathway enough just because nitrates are so freaking expensive that I haven't delved into what else could, like, I know arginine and vitamin C can help attenuate tolerance to nitrates, and like hawthornberry has some compounds in it that can, that interact with the nitrate pathway as well. But I haven't come across much stuff with iron. This is something cool to look into.
Yeah, because I think that this will be the first one to use it. I'm assuming other people will be able to use it. But it was because it's from the same NO3.
Yeah,
I thought it was extremely interesting. It's weird because that pre-workout seems to be all about pumps, but it's got other things in it apparently.
Yeah. Here's a paper that says iron regulates nitric oxide synthase activity by controlling nuclear transcription. So nitric oxide synthase is the enzyme that actually catalyzes, the production of nitric oxide in there. So if you're low in iron, that would make sense that that will be limiting your body's ability to effectively produce nitric oxide. So including a little bit of it in there. The typical thing, though, so that's why like men's multivitamins never include iron, is that because typically men get enough iron through red meat in their diet anyway. So that's why, and then overdoing iron is not a good thing. You don't want to overdo iron. Yeah. So
I remember they were explaining to me that they were under the understanding that it was a potentially detrimental effect when you combine the two, but then when they did it themselves to find out, apparently it was amazing.
Very interesting. I'm gonna dive into that. And I'm gonna reach out to Joey and see if he knows anything or if he's gone down that rabbit hole.
I'll see if I can get the research, because they've told me that they've done research on it, studies and everything. Yeah. I don't know if anything
you got, shoot it my way. That would be cool.
But I just had to condense down what I was given to as little as possible because I didn't really want to dive too deep.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool.
Sweet.
5 grams of nitrates, though, I'm not going to have a problem.
Yeah, no, you'll be ready and raring to go. Persephone summer drink. What do you think of that name, Robbie, for the blueberry pomegranate?
Oh.
I think it's catchy, but I think that a lot of people will have a problem with that pronouncing it. Yeah.
Persephone.
I do like it, though.
There we go. And I was corrected. The G in the OMG joint formula, Robbie, is guava. It's not grapefruit.
Oh, okay.
I just got a text from the manufacturer saying it's guava, not grapefruit. So they played a little trick on us. One for Lukasz. Sister is currently having her 4th big chemotherapy for breast cancer. Yikes, man. Thoughts and prayers with your family, Carl. I was wondering if Lukasz could share some of the specific supplements he put his mom on and thinks that may be helpful.
That's a good question.
That's an excellent question. What do you have Mama Rytkowski on, Lukasz?
All right. So 4th big chemotherapy. All right. So I put my mom straight away for higher dosages of vitamin C. So she's taking 3 grams of vitamin C spread throughout the day with her meals. On top of that, she's taking vitamin D. She's taking 10,000 units per day, which is with her meals with fats, because vitamin D is only absorbable with fats. So that's the main purpose of it. On top of that, she's also taking omega-3 fatty acids on dose of 5 grams per day. she's not eating that much fish, but like 2 or 3 times per week, I try to incorporate in her diet some mackerel or salmon. But if she's not eating that much fish, I'm increasing the omegas up to like 10 grams per day, even higher. With the supplements, you can always, correct the dosages and add more or less. But 5 grams is like a minimum, in my opinion. On top of that, she's also on testosterone, which we talked about on last podcast. And in my opinion, this can be a really good supplement to think about. So it's the supplement that is isolated from spinach. And I got her 95% extract, and she's taking 300. So it's like a 300 milligrams spread throughout the day, three times a day, and she's taking it with her meals as well. What else? She's also taking quercetin and CQ10 because due to like COVID and everything, I want to like keep her immunity level on higher end. So yeah, that's really important. Magnesium she was taking even before her treatment, so that's something that she's like taking year round, and it doesn't change. We also add from time to time krill oil if she didn't have like that much omegas, but in most cases she's taking a lots of omega-3s that comes from fish. I'm using the Now Foods brand because I think it's really good and the quality is on point. So yeah, I think that's about it. Sorry, I forgot about one more thing. The greens powder. So she has this complex that I bought from her, and it's like organics. So basically, it's chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass, and other stuff. Just to keep her immunity level on higher end. And honestly, when she started taking the greens powder, her blood results improved just in like 1 week, because her like red blood cells and white blood cells were on really deep low ends. And after like 1 week, just blood results came very good. So yeah, man, we are on the right track with that. So I would invest with these, but I would definitely say that the dark horse of it all is testosterone. That's in my opinion a really good product to think about. And basically, there is also a research that was published by Russian scientists, and it's also on Ergolog. So if you can Google it up, you will find it that the aldosterone was added to breast cancer treatment to women that had the breast cancer, and they showed positive results, and the aldosterone was killing the cancer cells in her breast. So that's really awesome.
Is it 500 milligrams of ecdysterone?
She's taking 300 milligrams 3 times a day, so it's like almost a gram. Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you for divulging all that. I mean, that's definitely helpful.
No worries.
People don't mind paying for quality. Yes. Apollon is a prime example of that.
Yeah, we had this discussion, like last week about, paying a premium for the products, and I was like, yeah, I would always pay more just to have a more quality product than like screenshot.
Feel better drinking a Monster or Rockstar than I do something super. That's perfectly fine, man. Different strokes for different folks. That's the way it is. I think along the extreme supplement lines, I like how Glaxon has a version with alpha yo and one without that ingredient. Yeah, but see, Glaxon didn't say Specimen Extreme. They just went, they said yo-yo version, or I think that's what they called it.
Well, their GFY was kind of that thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, but they never said
was
extreme pre-workout, hardcore pre-workout. I mean, you just
They had 2 pre-workouts though. I only really noticed those signature words when you start getting upwards in the realm of like 3, 4, 5 different things.
Yeah,
like C4 obviously is a prime example. Hide.
Rob's face, I think Sandy's face on the tub would absolutely sell more. We're not putting me or Steve's face on the tub. Although I got to say, Robbie's look on the hooligan tub is badass. So
yeah, I love the look.
Yeah, that's a badass shot. When Robbie first showed me that label, I thought it was.
See, the thing is like I typically don't like when somebody's face is on a container. And, I initially wasn't my idea because, I was always critical of people that putting their faces in a container. I just don't think that it's cool. I mean, it's just like I said, it's my opinion. But when I saw specifically that shot, you don't really see my face. It's just kind of like it's a really cool shot. So I was like, okay, perhaps it works. We asked a couple of people and it worked out pretty well. So, yeah, okay, it makes sense. But, at the end, I think that when it comes to, I've changed my mind since. I think that you can experiment with different things and maybe some photo of you. Because don't forget, you don't have to necessarily use just a photo. That was from a photo shoot that I did in Moscow. So it was an actual photo. But then it was actually kind of like touched up by a graphic designer in terms of making it a little bit more cartoonish and more like a graphic. So there's always like changes that you can make. I actually saw somebody tagged me yesterday. I think it was Aaron from Review Brothers. He tagged me into some stuff that some guy does like comics with like action movie stars and stuff like that. And he paints like blood on their faces and stuff like that. So it's an actual photo. It just like slightly adjusted and looks more badass. And if you put something like that, I think on a container, it's definitely creative. So, you can always play with those things.
I think Robert should do the exact same shot, just like a buff, intimidating pose, and just put that on the tub, and then just be like, game changed.
There we go. No, if it were me, I'm gonna go back to my taekwondo roots. I'd be doing like some kind of jump kick, man. It's not gonna be me just standing there flexing.
You know what? You doing a jump kick on a tub? I feel like we gotta have some kind of study, like 20% increase in price in sales. Sorry. 20% increase in sales instantly.
Oh man, I'd be doing a jump kick. I love that was my strength with taekwondo.
I feel like it would have like a comedic. It would have like a comedic feel, like if you just put a random dude on a tub doing a jump kick.
For a good laugh, for all the listeners out there, and Shane, you can look it up. This too. I think it was called Kung Fu Cologne or Karate Cologne. It's an old cologne ad from like the 1970s or something. It's freaking hilarious. That's what we're gonna do. Those ingredients are hydrophobic or oxidized. Which ingredients are you talking about, Dave? If you can answer, put that in again, then we'll do that. Pete Pasmus, come on, guys! I can't afford any supplements. Just work harder, Pete. There's a lot of cool stuff coming this year. Just keep working.
You will always get a discount.
Work harder.
Just work more, work harder. Cream on her. Robert, have you had a chance to try the new Primeval protein bars yet? Not yet. Maybe soon. I was talking to the guys over there. I want to try their new coconut cream protein as well. They've got a coconut caramel whey that just released. I want to try that, and I do want to try their protein bars, as well as they've got a Apeshit RTD, which is coming out. I just saw the profile on that, and that'll be 3 flavors, and that looks dynamite. I'm excited to try that. So their flavoring is usually pretty solid.
Just the way you said the name. Cream on her. Have you tried? I was like, dude, I just glaze over that.
At any point, if any of you guys want to take over moderating duties, please jump in.
No, I'm just like, you didn't say Pete Pasmus. You're like, Pete says, Dave says, cream on her. Hey, Robert. It just caught me off guard. Sorry.
We're gonna take a break for a second. So Lukasz, this is like this whole day is your birthday celebration. So I did a shot of the Zubrocco when we got on air here. I took half a serving of this angel dust, to start here. I've got the other half of this. This stuff tastes god awful. I've got the other half of it here. The effects are great, man. I don't feel like super overstimmed or anything. I haven't had any DMHA or DMAA in at least 3 months. Like the last DMHA product I had was Assassin, and I haven't used that probably since Thanksgiving time. Everything else has been either caffeine, yohimbine, or ureagerensis. No other DMHA stuff. But this is feeling really good. I think I'm just going to end up using the rest of this and get a lot of work done this afternoon.
Yeah, me and Robic were right, straight from the get-go. You have this no crash, just clean energy, and you can train like a horse.
Yeah. Now, whether it actually has that much DMAA, it says it has 100 milligrams of DMAA and 100 milligrams of DMHA, 200 milligrams of ureagerensis, 700 milligrams of beta PEA, plus 2 milligrams of yohimbe bark and 2 milligrams of alpha-yo, plus some other fun stuff. Whether it actually has all that stuff or not, I don't know, but I know I'm feeling really good on it.
That's the Russian roulette, man.
You could have put some crack in there and just be like,
Sprinkle a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Salt bait.
I haven't had DMA or DMHA for probably I haven't had DMAA for 5 years. I haven't had DMHA. I haven't had that for maybe a year or two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels good, man. I'm feeling great.
I
stacked it. I did half a serving of that with a full serving of the old bare knuckle, not the new one that has nootropics, because I didn't want it to mess with the focus or energy I was getting from it. So I thought, let's just stack it with a pure pump product and see what happens. And I had a great workout before this podcast, so I'm still buzzing pretty good.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. You're welcome, Carl. That was a very in-depth answer from Lukasz, which was awesome. For Robbie, another one. Cream on her for Robbie. Will Apollon ever consider having inclusions in their protein? And then
you spelled it with a K like it's going to make any difference. You spelled it like the Krispy Kreme, but I wonder, would he have been allowed to do the cream, whipped cream kind of spelling?
I'm curious, is it he?
I'm curious.
Is it he or her?
That's the other thing. We don't know, do we? You know what? Let's just leave it at that. I like mystery.
There we go.
There, that's the name for your pomegranate flavor. Cream on her.
Get her first name.
Oh my goodness. All right. So, Robbie, first off, do you like inclusions? Have you had a lot of requests for inclusions? And third, do you anticipate ever putting inclusions in your protein?
No request whatsoever. It's always been, the protein got more and more popular specifically because of the flavors. Initially, it wasn't our top sellers, but now, especially ever since peanut butter cookie and then the caramel macchiato, we have actually a hard time keeping it in stock. So, no, nobody requested anything like that, but we are, I guess, Shane's going to be happy because I'm going to disclose this now. Look at his face.
He's ready. He's got his hands.
There's at least one every episode.
So we finally made a decision and it's been approved. We are releasing Isolate in a few months. So that's going to be more protein that comes to Apollon family. We were playing with about 5 or 6 flavors because I hate almost all Isolate on the market because most of the time it just comes very watery. So, we worked with a couple of different flavors and stuff. So we approved so far 5 or 6 flavors, but we're probably going to start with about 3, I believe. We finally going to authorize it on Monday. So we're going to have Isolate, something with cream.
Question. Are the macros, I'm assuming 25 grams of protein?
Probably around there, yeah.
What do you mean
this is Apollon, man. 51.5 grams of protein. 51.5 grams of protein.
He needs to know exactly.
No, we can say around, but he knows. He's obviously not telling me. But
yeah, I'm going to send you all the flavors and everything else.
I don't need to know the flavors. I need to know what I'm going to share. If I can get you to say it now, then I'm just going to put it on right after this. That's usually what I'm going to do. So
I know.
We'll say around 25 grams of protein. Work it on 5 to 6 flavors. Starting with 3 though, and rolling out with the rest later.
Well. And 30 servings. We're gonna go with 2-pounders to start with, and we're planning to, because with all the delays and everything else, hopefully by the end of summer, beginning fall, we should be able to release them.
Sweet.
There we go.
You see, Robert, he's not gonna be mad at me. He's only mad at you.
Well, no, because you said it. I mean, you're like, I'm working on this, Shane. This is what I'm working on. Look, it's going to be an isolate. He was working on this for had to have been weeks and didn't say shit.
I agree with you. He's a dick.
Yeah, unbelievable. Unbelievable.
There's,
and he calls himself a friend. That's wrong. That's very, very wrong.
The supplement engineer, more like the supplement liar.
There you go.
I didn't lie about anything. I just kept quiet. I'm the supplement recluse. Recluse. I go in my little hovel and I do my shit and I just keep quiet. I don't say anything.
You usually don't share secrets with people you dislike, enemies, and people that should not know. But apparently, he doesn't disclose any information even with friends because he doesn't trust us.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
The final scandal.
I may not be the king of content, but if I sent you how many articles I write on a given day, how many thousands of words I'm writing on a day, do you want to know that too, in addition to all the other products I'm consulting on and all that?
I don't care about that. I care about the brand. You had a stake in it.
Hey man, I just got this new article released on this brand's website.
No,
I got this new article.
No,
you want me to do that too? I'll share everything.
You knew that we wanted to hear about it, but you chose not to say it. Don't act like, oh, what about this? No, you knew and you held it back.
I'm really enjoying this.
I applaud you for that, though. To be honest, I applaud you that you didn't let slip shit. That was impressive.
I'm very. I know how to keep my mouth shut. That's the only thing, and that's like going back to the other arrangements I've made with other brands over the years. They say, hey, well, sign an NDA, or I tell everybody, look, unless you tell me to reveal something, I don't reveal shit. Whatever I say, it's like somebody trusts me enough to ask for my opinion or something. Like Robbie and I have talked about a bunch of stuff over the years. I've never leaked one cent of it or one word of it just because that's not my place. It's just
I'm the other way.
Let the work do the speaking, and if they want to say something, great.
If someone puts something publicly, it's free game. If I can dig it up and I can find it in the corner of the black internet, I will get it out there. But if you tell me something in like a text, I'm like, oh, okay, this sucks. Can't say shit.
There we go. Snitches get stitches after all. Dave, the CoQ10. And so, this is basically, it wouldn't dissolve. And so the exact note from the manufacturer, it said, we would have to use Kaneka ubiquinol, which is the only ubiquinol that can be used in a powder, not a soft gel. So most other CoQ10s on the market are soft gel, and you can't put them in a powder to actually get to dissolve. So you'd have to use a powdered form, and it's only a 30% yield. So that's why. Glaze over Jesus. I don't get that. Anybody?
I think he is referring to the glazing over of his original one.
Okay. Cream on her.
Here we go.
It has over 1.5 grams of parsnip. She'll be able to take it.
Yeah, so does it have over 1.5 grams?
No, it's going to be called Shane's Edition.
Shane Edition. You know what you should do? Because I remember watching a video, I think it might have been NutriBio who mentioned this, like because what's the amount of carbohydrates, the minimum or the maximum you can have before you can like round it down? Because I noticed that a lot of brands do that where you'll see on their labels, I've seen a few and they'll say, this is how much protein you get in a 30-gram serving, and it's like 25, but it's like 0 carbs. And then they'll have that amount in 100 grams. It's usually in international brands. And then all of a sudden the carbs appear. But theoretically, if you were to times 30 into 100, you wouldn't think there'd be any carbs. But I know there's a limit, and I can't remember what it is, that if it's like less than this amount of carbs, you can write it off as 0. I know UK and Europe, I know they don't have that necessarily. But I remember hearing about it in the US.
Yeah, I think when it's close to like, if I remember correctly, like if you have...
Is it under 500 milligrams?
Yeah, I think it was actually, but it depends like how close it is to an actual number. Then you have to round it out.
I know you have the less than 1 gram,
Yes.
which would obviously mean it's under a gram. But then I know that there's also the rule of if it's. I assumed it was under half a gram.
Yeah, once it's closer to the actual gram, you have to list it as a gram.
Yeah, there you
But
go. Do a Shane addition. Just whatever it takes. Make it no carbs.
Captain Carbs.
There we go.
Well,
There we go.
right now, actually, because you already see it on Double Impact, but the regulations state that you have to list the supplement facts in terms of carbs and everything else, even on a pre-workout right now.
Yeah, so just like in Australia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have to list it even if there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
They have that. They have 0 protein, 0 carbs, 0 fat. It's weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
Follow-up question from Cream on her. Would you guys rather real ephedrine back or real DMAA back?
That's a good one.
I
See, I
had
never
the-
used real ephedrine. The only ephedrine I've ever used is pseudoephedrine that's in like Claritin D and those kind of like cold medicines. So I don't know what real ephedrine feels like with regular caffeine.
Well,
who was old enough to be around then? There we go.
I'll still use ephedrine today. I stack it with chaos. Like usually, if I take chaos for more than 6, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, when your body kind of gets used to it, I will add 25 milligram of pure ephedrine because you still can get it legally in a pharmacy, and it definitely enhances the fat loss. It definitely enhances the thermogenesis. It definitely helps you with energy, and it helps you with breathing. Overall, I think ephedrine is better than DMAA. I think DMAA kind of gives you more of that euphoric feeling, good feeling in the gym. But I know some people react, they have crashes and they have headaches and whatnot. Ephedrine just feels very, very pure. Like if it's a real ephedrine, it just feels cleaner. The energy is better. Your cardio is definitely improved because it helps you obviously, breathe better. It just, I think overall is a better product. And, it's really a shame because, I hear lately, it's a good question because I heard a few times now where people saying DMA is far better than ephedra, which is complete bullshit because the ephedra that they use right now in products, it's not ephedra that contains ephedrine alkaloids. It's ephedra that is ephedrine free. So, it's bullshit. So people, when they compare it, like, oh, DMA is better. I'm pretty, for me personally, and it's just, DMA doesn't come close in terms of performance when it comes to ephedrine.
100% agree with Robic on this one as well. Ephedrine is like a god, to be honest. It's better.
Yeah, I mean, fat loss, energy, cardio. I mean, on all levels, and feels just healthy, feels clean.
Yeah, and you can take the ephedrine like in the morning, and it keeps you like going for the entire day. Crash,
Yeah, I guess I could get some of those Primatine or Broncaid caps because that's ephedrine, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how you get them. So in US, you can go to the pharmacy and you can buy them. The only thing is they're actually over the counter. Yeah. The only thing is you're going to have to show ID.
Right.
And, because they want to monitor how many you buy, and that's it. It's actually relatively cheap. Primatine and the other one, Broncaid, those are the two types. I think that Primatine comes in 12.5 milligrams, so typically I would take 2. And Broncaid comes in 25 milligram. So if I take care, say, twice a day, I separate them by at least like 6-7 hours, then I will stack 25 milligram with each serving, and the thermogenesis, energy. I mean, it's basically an amazing pre-workout because it gives you crazy energy, so something like that, if you stack with a non-stim pre-workout, because if you want, say, pumps, it's absolutely magic. And, Lukasz is right. It's a better product.
Yeah. Paul would rather have DMAA back. I gotta say, Lukasz, the flavor on this thing, man, it needs some work, man. I got a couple of flavors. I'm sipping on the exotic cooler one. Man, I was hoping it was gonna be like an ecto cooler, like the old Slimer High C box thing from our childhood. No, not even. It's gross.
You're saying like it was me that was mixing this shit in my bathtub. I was.
We don't know.
You could have. Maybe you're the owner of Skull Labs, and you're just hiding the secret from Shane.
Yeah, that's my face on it, man.
Logan, we all know that DMA gives you euphoria. Remember Robbie doing the hooligan DMAA mix?
Yeah, but the if you compare it to ephedrine, it was like it also gives you the euphoria, but it's like completely different feeling. On
Yeah.
top, it's like a euphoria with clean energy, with a focus. You're just like you're just flying, man. And stack
Yeah.
it with caffeine.
I mean, there is a reason why even today, if you see, because ephedrine is pretty much banned everywhere in the world. I mean, most countries it's banned, but if you look at athletes, and I mean real athletes, not gym rats, not stim junkies, none of those. If you look at that, you will pretty much see ECA, 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 ECA. It's still stacked today. Ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin cannot be beat. I mean, that stack. I mean. For years, it was bodybuilders and people that wanted to get in shape would usually not stack, but they would alternate between ECA and clenbuterol. And clenbuterol, even though it's an asthma medication that has fat loss properties to it and even some performance properties to it, but I will choose ECA any day of the week. I mean, it's just so much cleaner and so much better for performance. It just cannot be beat. It's a classic, and it's a shame that it's gone. But honestly, again, Lukasz he will attest to this. Ephedrine and DMAA, it's just cannot be compared. Just a lot better.
Ephedrine and Kumite might be something to try.
I actually got it. It's very good.
I think that would be a dynamite combo. I've got a bottle.
Yeah.
I still have a bottle of Kumite here in the pantry. I think I might try that for.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, any pharmacy you walk in, you can get ephedrine. You stack it with kumite. I mean, it's just amazing because you don't want to go overboard with caffeine on this one. I think 200 to 300 milligram of caffeine is a sweet spot. You add a little bit of aspirin, and that's it. I mean, you have better blood flow, you have better energy. Your cardio is amazing. It's just, like I said, it cannot be beat.
Yeah.
Speaking of stacks,
Pete's coming to my rescue here, so I don't have to explain myself. You guys should love me as I am.
Bullshit.
Go ahead, Lukasz.
I'm just like, you saw my message on the group chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
As far as one combination. And Robic today was trying it. I just wanted to like.
Yeah, so Lukasz suggested that I try overtime and chaos, as a combination. And to be honest with you, I really wanted to tell him to go fuck himself, because that was like. But then again, he's birthday boy, so I couldn't say no to him. Plus, we already have Shane's feelings hurt from Robert. Robert, that was very, very wrong of you. Very, very wrong. Not cool.
It may even go into next week's episode. Who knows?
You know what? I wouldn't blame you. I would hold grudge. I would hold grudge for a while. I think it's very disrespectful, and definitely cannot call himself friend after this. But
here, watch this. Wait, watch this. Oop, can't hear Robbie anymore. He just got muted.
And so it begins.
So yeah, I tried the combination that Lukasz suggested, and he was right. It was really, really good, very good. I mean, I'm still energized because I'm attacking Robert left and right.
If you take 6,000 milligrams of caffeine, of course you're going to feel good.
I feel phenomenal. The workout was good.
Sounds far too much for me.
Well, then you'll be energized for the UFC fight night tonight, Robbie.
I feel great.
Excellent. Let's see. Shane edition of the isolate, negative carbs.
Amen.
If people could believe, because Ronnie said he was negative body fat percentage on a Rogan show. Yeah. This is a follow-up question that Logan sent me in a message, and I wanted to get our opinions on it. He says he always checks his BP and heart rate after taking a over 300 milligrams of caffeine. How much should it change, and if so, when is too much just too much, and should I cut down? This is going to be highly variable depending on a number of factors: your age, your sex, your body weight.
I am curious. What when after you take the stims and they kind of kick in, what is meant to happen to your heart rate? I was curious because obviously it varies, but like if you're just sitting there doing nothing and you kind of feel the rush.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. So like it antagonizes the adenosine receptors in your brain, and then it also causes a flood of catecholamines and dopamine and norepinephrine, which do lead to an increase in heart rate. but the degree to which that happens depends on age, sex, height, weight, previous caffeine exposure, and also your genetics. So are you a fast metabolizer of caffeine? Are you a slow metabolizer? How habituated are you to that caffeine dose? So they've done studies in female judo athletes, I believe. They gave them upwards of 9 milligrams per kilogram of caffeine. And that showed that there was a really short rise in BP and heart rate, but within like an hour or so, everything was back to normal. It was a very minor fluctuation. Like they could track it on a really fine-tuned heart rate monitor. But after a while, so even the ones that were attenuated to caffeine, so that's going to ultimately affect like how used to you are you consuming caffeine. So anybody that takes caffeine, it's going to cause a little bit of an increase because it's a stimulant. It's meant to activate and stimulate the cardiovascular system and the central nervous system. So it's going to start to beat a little bit faster. Blood vessels will constrict a little bit, but it's a very transient thing, especially if you're somebody that's used to consuming caffeine. So it's not like a one size across the board answer. Logan, I don't really know how much it should go. Like, there's no answer. How high should it go up or something? I mean, if you're taking caffeine and you're feeling your heart racing, then just don't take that much, or slowly work your way up. Or there's not a flat across the board answer to like 10 minutes it'll be fine, and but somebody else it could last for an hour for them or something like that. It all depends on your ability to clear caffeine and how used to certain dosages of caffeine that you are.
Because I have one of those watches. I got it like a couple weeks back, and I've noticed that my heart rate doesn't actually change. If anything, it goes down. Mm-hmm. Like I was until I exercise. So it's usually around 60 somewhere, and then it goes to or 60, 70, and it just stays there. And even when I get the kick, I look, and it's still the same. It's not until I start working out. In fact, the other day, I was I had some overtime on my rest day for work, and it fell to 55 while I was awake and sitting here doing work. I always thought, and I mean, I feel a rush, I feel a lift, and I feel alive, but I was just expecting, I guess like you say, I guess it's different for everybody, but I was I thought that I just expected it to be 90, 100, and then you work out, you're looking at 110, 120 kind of thing. And
I don't. It was that up.
Well, you know what? I mean, I heard few people, and like Robert said, it varies. I think for everybody, every individual is different. Yep. But I know that, and I heard this quite a few times. Chaos is pretty strong. I mean, in terms of like it has that paradoxin, and it has like over 200 milligram. It has capsaicin, capsimax, and obviously 300 milligram of caffeine. So it's more than enough to light you up. But the thing is that, and I heard this from few people now, where they say that I take Chaos, I feel nothing. I feel absolutely nothing. But as soon as I start working out, I'm just drenched in sweat and way more than usual. I'm all over the place, and like, it gets really, really hot. While you have people that will take Chaos and they don't do shit, but they're dripping sweat, like it affects them. I think that it affects different. So when it comes to stimulants, I think that's the beauty when it comes to products such as C4 versus Hooligan, because somebody can feel the effects of 200, 300 milligram of caffeine, and then the same, a different person will take 200-300 milligram of caffeine and will feel absolutely nothing because his requirements, or maybe, his receptors require 400, 500, 600 milligram. So I think it's everybody's different. Then, like Robert said, if you feel like uncomfortable, or you feel like your heart is racing too much or something like that, you probably need to back off. And you might have to back off of 300, which is by today's standards is relatively low, but 300 for somebody might be actually a lot. And then vice versa, you can have somebody taking 600 and saying, I feel fine, I don't feel anything. I've seen those people before who would take 2 scoops of Hooligan, like, okay, that hits the spot. I mean, it's probably something is fucked up with them, and the receptors are fried and shit. But again, it just attests that everybody is different. And I think to answer a question like that it's very, very difficult. And I don't think there is a right question for that. I think it all goes by, how you feel and an individual case.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think I'm like you're saying, my heart rate when I work out shit lights up pretty quick, but
Yeah,
Well,
and I noticed that more, not necessarily with caffeine, but some of like the other stimulants. Like, so if alpha yohimbene's in there or something,
yeah.
that's when, if like I'm doing some
Yeah.
kind of interval training workout, man, it's
That's when the racing comes on.
yeah.
But
So
you know what?
I never use a yohimbine containing pre-workout for a leg workout either, like interval cardio type stuff or legs. I don't put anything with yohimbine in there. I mean, maybe it might be if it's like a milligram or a milligram and a half, sure, but if it's anything higher than that, I don't mess with it.
I noticed that when I take a pre-workout, any pre-workout, it's very unusual for me to feel anything. And it can be hooligan or assassin. It's very unusual for me to just feel anything while I'm doing nothing. So I will take a pre-workout and feel I feel okay. But then we're going to sample something that the manufacturer is going to send us, and it's going to be one serving, and we will divide it by like 10 people or something. And Carolina will take a sip, and all of a sudden, like a few minutes later, she goes like, okay, I feel warm. I feel like, I feel that sensation. And it's like literally hardly anything in that cup because it's a small little cup divided by like 10.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hit the gym floor and I can be on my second set, that's when something is activated in my body. And even I feel it with bare knuckle. Like I don't feel that razor sharp focus or obviously no pump or anything like that while I'm doing nothing. But then 2 sets and I have veins everywhere and I'm exploding and I really feel the pre-workout. And, I have a friend who actually can take a pre-workout and he's bullshitting with us in the office. And then 10 minutes later, he goes like, uh-oh, it's kicking in. I got to go work out. I'm like, I wouldn't feel shit.
I'm the kicking and I can feel it. Need to get to the gym.
Yeah.
Training question. Opinion on replacing barbell upright rows with kettlebell high pulls. Do any of you do barbell upright rows, or do y'all do high pulls or something, or maybe like a dumbbell upright row where you're coming out that way to kind of let more mobility?
My issue with a lot of exercises is limit. It's like when you go to a gym and the dumbbells go up to 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, what ceilings am I going to break here? I like the barbell. You can go more, right? Mm-hmm. Like if you do a machine and you hit the bottom plate, where do you go from there? With the barbell, you can go. I'm pretty sure the barbell can hold more than anybody can upright row in their life. Any person in the world.
Yeah.
My issue would be the kettlebell would be. Not many gyms go that heavy with them, do they?
And not only
they get heavy, but they don't get that heavy.
I think that the barbell, just the way you hold it, is a more natural grip, and I think just like feels, to me at least, it feels better. Specifically on my wrists, where I think like a dumbbell or a kettlebell would just feel very, very unnatural. I tried it, and I think it puts way too much pressure on my wrists.
You have to, because if you're going to do the kettlebell, you have to hold them like really close if you want to get them flat.
No, you can use two separate ones.
I meant not holding it.
Oh, you mean a kettlebell
individually?
In each hand.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
See, it's weird, Robbie, that you said you like the barbell, because most people, that irritates their shoulder due to the internal rotation that the bar is putting them in. But if you use like a wider grip,
I think that it depends on a grip. I think it very much depends on a grip. And you know what? I mean, since hitting the gym like back few months now, I've been doing upright rows on a regular basis. But believe it or not, I actually prefer to do them on a machine. Like on a cable crossover machine. I just feel like it's much more smoother. And it just feels better and safer, especially on rotator and stuff like that. Because think about it, like shoulders get injured very, very easily, especially the more weight you move. But I think I wouldn't even give my opinion or advice on this. I just think that whatever feels better, whatever feels more natural, and I think it's very, very individual.
Agreed. Lukasz, what about you? Do you even do upright rows, or do you have a preference one way or the other?
Honestly, I disagree with you guys. So I prefer the upright rows, but with kettlebells. And honestly, you don't have to use that much because you can feel amazing contraction. But my best tip is to use the bench and just lay on the bench, but keep the chest on the bench, and then use the kettlebells just like would like do the pulls, with the kettlebells for your back. do it like on the higher rate on the bench, and do it with the kettlebells upright rows, and you isolate only the shoulders. It's amazing.
Yeah, you take
I
out
feel
any
like
kind of hip momentum.
I feel like we're
Exactly.
talking like
And
it's a training.
you don't have to use any like Shane said, like 40.
Yeah, I think we're talking different training styles because I'm the other way around. Like I've done the high reps isolated shit and it didn't do jack for me. So I've always been on the. I think everyone's obviously different, but I've always responded better to heavy stuff.
Shane, what is your rep range approximately? Like, what? How many reps you usually do?
I usually do like a light first exercise, and then I do 2 big ones, and then 2.
So what is your max? Like 6, 10 reps, 15 reps?
So the 2 big exercises, the compound ones, are usually 7 to 10s.
Okay.
Maybe and then the ones after that, like I don't know, bicep curl and things that are just not as comprehensive or demanding. That's usually 10 to 15.
Okay. Yeah, that's about the same as I do.
But it's the same. Like I just like Lukasz saying, I know the style, but like I know a lot of bodybuilders use their same style, but I've just always responded to.
Yeah.
Instead of feeling it better, I've just always had better results if I just put another plate on or just try to up it.
I don't like the lift. I don't like the barbell over it. I almost prefer the high pulls. I don't know if it's just because I got like monkey ass arms or something, like these really long gangly arms, but having the ability to kind of freely rotate the dumbbells, or I just got some kettlebells here at the house now. I've always got that better. Just because anytime with the barbell, this left bicep just gets irritated, like the bicep tendon. I feel it more there than I actually do on the side delta or anything.
You know what? Honestly,
you just gotta lift more.
Yeah, since I started like watching
The answer
John,
just always go higher.
Yeah, since I started watching like John Meadows more and more, I started incorporating like the kettlebells in my routine.
Mm-hmm.
And man, like some contractions are insane, especially with like the rows or even like the tricep extensions on the bench. Man, so crazy.
Yeah, John is awesome. Well, Lukasz, like that should all be. You're Eastern Europe, man. That's like the birthplace of kettlebell. That's the only thing you should be using. Forget the barbell.
Robic, Russian.
You should be putting kettlebells on the barbell.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah.
Nicholas, this episode has been dynamite. Yes, it has. This has been a very, very fun episode, and we figured out the formula. Just everybody harassed the shit out of me for 2 hours, and
oh my god, settle down, dude. We talked about it for like 5-10 minutes. We put the spotlight on you.
I'm in an abusive relationship with you 3 gentlemen.
I'm curious though, if you named a flavor cream on her, should it taste good or bad? Because you think if it tastes nice, are you then alluding to something?
Robert,
you might get someone.
Change the name of this episode to Cream on Her, please.
Either way.
All right, we're gonna put that. I always take notes so I know like what the bullet points are for the show notes for the podcast.
Through my birthday, just like a Cream on Her. That's all.
Yeah, the title of the podcast was going to be Happy Birthday, Lukasz, but now it's going to be the Cream on Her special.
Cream on Lukasz.
Yeah.
Lukasz's Cream on Her special. There we go. Extravaganza. There we go. Hearts from Cream on Her all the way to Shane. There we go. Kettlebell high pulls are a swing that you pull upwards. Oh yeah, I guess you could do that. But I mean, they also have a dumbbell high pull where it's not an explosive movement. It's more of like a controlled upright row, like you would do with dumbbells, where you come up here and you get a little bit of external rotation there at the top too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could easily do the kettlebell high pulls. I guess he's referencing more like the Olympic variation.
Yeah, I thought he was talking about like just doing upright rows with kettlebells.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
No,
I think that's 2 different things. Are you trying to work on explosiveness there and training like an Olympic lift? Because there's not really much of an eccentric on the high pull there. I mean, it's basically up and down, and the eccentric is where you're getting a lot of the muscle building bang for your buck on a rep when it comes to lifting. I guess it depends on your are you looking for power and explosiveness, or are you going more of like the hypertrophy side of things?
Mm-hmm.
Out of curiosity, is ephedrine over the counter expensive or not?
No, it's very cheap.
It's not
It's
that
very-
expensive. No.
Yeah, it's very cheap. I want to say maybe it's $10, $15 for like for a box of quite a few. Yeah, no, it's cheap.
Sweet. Muscle and bones. Yeah, it's weird. I can take a full scoop easily, and then all of a sudden I recently can't take anything strong without. Maybe just do like a month of no high stim products.
Don't
do like
say it. I knew you were going to say that. Don't say it.
300
through
or
it.
less for like a month and
Don't
see if
put him
that kind
through
of
that.
reset.
Surely he sat there and been like, I might have to cycle off. No one wants to do that.
I'm not telling him to completely like go cold turkey off no caffeine, but just tap the brakes on all the like the super hardcore stuff.
Like,
Just go back to...
No caffeine means like poor life, man.
Just go swap from assassin to hooligan. There we go.
Yeah, see? There you go. Double scoop rule again. I'm not endorsing. I'm not endorsing. That's the Lukasz route of things.
Just go from assassin to hooligan, then back down to overtime, and then 3 caps of
Kumite.
overtime. Then we work ourselves back up.
Yeah. Last call for questions, guys. Thank you. Y'all have been extra special with the comments and banter this episode. So this will be our last call for that. And if you haven't, don't be shy. If you haven't commented on here, we'll accept anything and everything. Diet, training,
And
nutrition.
if you haven't already, head over and pre-order Massive Iron's new Massive Creatine Plus.
You forgot game changing. That's the key.
It is a game-adding creatine supplement.
I need a straw.
Robert, look like a proud Polish.
That-
Got my bottle of vodka. I'm just sitting here.
It'll help with muscle strength and size, and it was formulated by your Robert, the man himself.
Truly.
So you will
This
be
is another reason I don't like
supporting
fiber.
him and his family by buying and pre-ordering creatine, Massive
I'll drink
Creatine, Creatine Plus.
Well, thank you for.
And it is
the
unflavored,
plug.
so if you want to stack it with Formula 50/50, be my guest. It'll just go perfectly.
It will.
There you go.
You get
And
a
it's
little bit
20
of insulin spike from.
It is
from protein.
$29.99, by the way. $29.99. 30 servings, if I'm not mistaken.
30 servings, $29.99. We're trying to give everybody a month supply and stuff like that.
You will be back in 30 days.
Yes,
we
that will be the hope. I mean, that's what the size we're working with right now. 30 servings for $30, 29, less than $1 a day. You're getting a bunch of creatine plus a bunch of other fun stuff. And I don't really like I don't like being in this position. I don't like bragging or trying to sell stuff. That's why I like to do the interviewing. I don't ever have to be in this position.
I like the comment about the muscle and bones. I always, if I do 300, if I do more, she's gonna beat my ass. It seriously sounds like we're talking about a crack addiction, like a drug addiction. Like if she catches me doing another line again, she's gonna beat my.
Man, you got a problem.
Obviously, in this group, it makes sense, but taken out of context, people are like, yeah, they're fucking weird. You guys got problems. It's just a pre-workout.
If you are saying that 300 is like a higher dose, then I have a major problem, man.
I mean, that's the dose in Lukasz's nighttime sleep aid.
Man, 300 is nothing.
Hey man, everybody has their
From the
limits.
thought. I'm a titan of industry. What can
Oh
I say?
shit! Sorry, I forgot that. Yeah, thought leader. Damn it. Can I go again? Can I go?
The king of written word, the king of the written word, industry innovator, thought leader. I mean, what can I say? I'm just
Jacked motherfucker. Surprisingly, I didn't have any carbs this morning, but anyway.
What stims have you had today? Because you are on fire today, Shane.
It's on fire.
I woke up.
Seriously.
I woke up early. That was the thing. I woke up early,
Oh,
like an hour early.
Did you go to bed early too?
No, I went to bed later. So
He couldn't go to bed because he was pissed since yesterday since he found out about your brand.
You know what? I cried myself to sleep.
Druggy.
I could just. It's one of those comedic scenes from like a movie where like he's like in the kitchen late at night and he's got like half a scoop of C4, and she like walks in and she's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Put that down," and just throws it away.
You see, Shane is a perfect example right now that you don't need carbs for energy. He's full of it today.
He's full of something.
And if you didn't jump on it that quickly, I was going to say something. So I'm glad you got in there before me. It was a perfect setup.
Man, that's my parents raised us to be very sarcastic. They were. My mom is one of the quickest people with on like the pickup like that. So it was a fight for yourself, or you're gonna get torn a new one. So, before we go, Shane, I have a question for you.
Oh shit!
Outbreak Nutrition is buying Intel Nutra. Like I know Landon left Intel Nutra to go to
that went up.
Inspired, and he's working there with Chris Waldrum.
Not buying, bought, acquired. He now owns
so they
it.
have acquired it past tense, so they have already completed the transaction. But so how does that work? Since
Aries will still be that'll still be in that'll still be under Modern Hardcore Nutrition. So I believe that was, from my understanding, it was sold off to them.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a license or anything. It was sold. The name was sold to Modern Hardcore. So Intel will be rebranded, but like without Aries. I believe it'll be they'll obviously have some stimulant pre-workout, but the owner of Outbreak is sort of just bringing it back up. He acquired it. I believe it was this week. He told me. Yeah, he sent me the information today. So
yeah, that's
fresh off the press.
Yeah, that's what I found that an interesting story. I'm wondering. It seems like Intel's been. I don't know if it not dead, but very quiet since Landon left.
I said quiet because the last thing we shared on them was from December of 2019. So that was coming up a year and a half ago, and that was the Christmas flavor, and since then nothing. So
yeah, I'm curious to see what they're going to do now. As far as they're going to launch it, because I mean, their pre-workouts are always pretty hard hitting, but that was Aries, and now that's with Modern Hardcore. So what's gonna? I've liked the stuff I've used from Outbreak in the past. I haven't tried any of their stuff in a couple of years, but I've always kind of liked what they did.
I've always liked, I've liked their approach, their supplement, their variety is pretty cool. So but they did say that the personality of Intel will kind of remain the same. Mm-hmm. So even though Outbreak, the owner of Outbreak now owns Intel, I don't believe you're going to be seeing supplements like they're going to Outbreak and bring that style to Intel. Yeah. I think they're still going to try and stick to that reputable. I think they're going to keep with it.
Is that over 300 milligrams? I don't remember which product we said. C4 is not under 3. C4 is not over 300. The regular one is only 150 a scoop. You could get away with that.
I mean, to be honest, again, and I want to dig further into the comedic side of this coming out like a drug addiction thing. But you could always just lie to her. What's she gonna know?
Always good to Shane for your relationship advice, people. Shane is the epitome of the successful relationship advisor.
I mean, unless she's like really onto it and like turns it around, it's like, just you know what, get a proprietary blend. And just confuse the shit out of everyone.
Labs. There you go. Go for Insane Labs. Could be set.
And just be like, I don't know. I thought it was 100 milligrams. I mean, it's a blend. Who knows?
Or maybe his girlfriend is really crafty and actually weighs out his pre-workout tubs to say, "Hey, wait, you've had your scoop today," and then she says, "Oh, wait, there's 5 grams missing from this pre-workout. What did you do?"
He could do a whole bunch. He could switch the tubs. He could put the pre-workout on the aminos and be like, "This is just stim-free goodness right here. Throwing it in." Don't listen to me.
You seem to have. You're pretty well versed in these matters, Shane. And Sridhar's right. You're speaking from experience.
Well, I mean, I don't get heart palpitations. I haven't come into the problem where like I'm needing to back off. I usually cycle down every now and then, so.
I think he was talking about hiding your stimulant consumption from your wife.
Oh,
it's more around the other way. She finished off the Devastator of the Union. She loves that thing like crazy, and she only has the half serving. Mm-hmm. She doesn't touch Assassin. She says it's too much. It's too intense. So she's been doing the Devastator of the Union and just slowly chipping away at it. And I went and looked at it the other day. I was like, fuck, 2 tubs empty. What is this shit? This is the other way around. I'm going to have to start hiding the stuff from her.
That's the way I am with some of the nootropic powders with Sandy. She takes one just about every day for work. And there's certain ones like they run out, like the Mastermind Lukasz. she tore through that thing in like a month or a month and a half, and I wouldn't let her have it every day. It was like, all right, you get it this day. You get it this day when you're taking your night classes. You're doing one or two other things. We're gonna space this out. We only get these parcels from Poland every once in a while. We're gonna have to make this thing last for a while. Honey.
I still have my tub of Mastermind.
It's awesome.
Half
I
full.
love that stuff.
So good.
The only thing that bugs me is that the scoop, they've like looks like they folded it to put it in there. So like every time I pull it out, it flicks a little, like a serving just goes up into the air. I was like, oh,
Hit you in the head.
yeah. So I'm like, oh, and then there's no way to put it in because the powder's quite dense and the scoop is like it's longer than the tub.
It's
I was
longer,
like,
yeah.
oh, fuck. So you have to fold it to get it in. You know, let's just hope she doesn't see this episode.
Yeah, Logan, does your girlfriend watch our episodes? If so, get her to
No.
comment on these too. This will be fun.
God damn it, she's on here now.
Wonderful. Excuse me, sir.
That's Nikki. That's my wife.
Oh, well, there we go. This is Nikki. Hi, this is MrStack.com. Excuse me,
Okay,
I've had
for the
Logan
last
for the last
4
4
workouts. Yeah, that's because we have no Devastate.
Nikki!
We're gonna be going back and forth on here.
We need to get her to join this. We'll set her up on a separate laptop so y'all can have it. She could be in a different room. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Assassin.
Nikki needs to be a permanent addition to this cast, so we'll keep Shane in line, and I can stop being the one that's being accosted.
No. Well, then no, we're good. She can just drop the comments.
Was she a cheerleader? It looks like she's doing like a cheerleading jump right there or something.
I believe that's a mid-air shot in. I could be wrong, but I'm going to guess Romania.
Okay,
I think.
that's awesome.
I don't know.
That
Somewhere in the
episode
beautiful Eastern Europe.
on fire.
Okay, so it's a no for the Logan's girlfriend coming on. And the star commenter of this episode, cream on her, is Mastermind a Nootropic. Yes, it is
Sure
from
is.
Apollo's Hegemony. It is a Polish brand. Is that correct, Lukasz?
Correct.
Yeah.
Cream on her. If you want it, just message me.
You got to learn the name, man, because you're going through these people and you're naming them by their name. You're like, oh, there's Dave, there's Logan. And of course, when you just pronounce cream on her, someone's going to, I mean, it's hilarious. You can't not laugh.
I mean, I've learned names because people, like in addition to the comments here, I'll get separate emails or something like that. And so
It's
I'll
not
get,
learned names. You've learned names of everyone but Creamy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I haven't gotten a direct email from Creamy with the actual
The
name
weirdest-
saying thanks or sincerely or blah,
The
blah.
weirdest part is that they know we're wondering what the name is and they haven't put it up. So
The mystery keeps you coming back for more.
oh, look at that. I was wrong again. It's Rotorua.
Rotorua? What the hell is Rotorua? Rotorua? How do you
Where's
even pronounce that?
Where's that?
It's in New Zealand. It's down. It's like it's one of our smelly areas. So
Rotorua?
known for
Is that the pronunciation?
Yeah, Rotorua. It's known for like the sulfur, smelly volcano stuff, hot pools.
Gotcha.
How was I going to know that?
I wouldn't hear the end of it. I told her about this. This is just my time.
You see, and now he has a secret group where he can go discuss these addictions with. It's all seeming.
I'm never going to
Yeah.
look at Boston cream. Serious question. BP vitamins that can assist BP issues. Niacin, vitamin C have some positive effects on blood pressure. Grapeseed extract, pomegranate extract, 200 to 400 milligrams of grapeseed extract, 500 milligrams of olive leaf extract, 1,000 milligrams of pomegranate extract. You could also look into Vasodrive AP or a meal peptide, 254 to 508 milligrams of that. L-citrulline, 6 grams of that. Nitrosogene, 1.5 grams of that. It's pretty much all of the potent BP related supplements that I've come across. Fitnox, maybe. I mean, I don't know about that. I'm not going to say the other blend of polyphenols that I think is crap. Is there one other one? Fitnox? Agmatine sulfate, maybe? Pre-workout anonymous, yes.
No, here we go.
Uh-oh. Shane getting a...
I was looking at the comment.
Okay, I was going to say.
I mean, I could do this.
Oh, damn.
There we go. I'll reveal my identity when Shane and I have 1,000 carbs. You can do Shane. That's only 4,000 calories. You can do that.
I mean, to be no, he did say 24 hours. I mean, I could do that, but do you know how hard it is to get a food that's straight carbs? Like
Gummy bears?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Actually, yeah. To be honest, I probably could pound away some. I would be. It would not be. My wife would be on here commenting the next day about the whole bathroom experience and everything. I can guarantee you. 1,000 grams of carbs. I mean, I could do it, but I don't know, because I like the mystery. I like creamy. I like cream. I like it's. I like the idea.
There we go. 1,000 grams of that would destroy the bathroom and Shane's GI tract.
All vegetables. My bathroom. That's worse than just 1,000 grams of carbs.
That would destroy the entire New Zealand pipeline structure.
I could do fruit. I could actually probably do fruit.
Wow,
that would be a much easier target. That'd be a much easier target. I could do it.
What about pasta?
Pasta?
That's easier.
Yeah. Pasta is easy.
That's easier.
Yeah.
That's
24 hours makes it pretty reasonable too.
Yeah.
Jane, just imagine if you could like pound 1,000 grams of fruit with it's like a tons of fiber, and with pasta, like white pasta, it's
I bloat less with fruit.
oh come on.
Not after you get 600 grams of fiber in there from the fruit.
24 hours is not unreasonable.
Cream-inspired flavors for Apollon and Massive Iron. Yes. It's going to have creamy coconut protein, spelled with a K, for Carolina. There you go, Shane. Do the asparagus with bacon for your 1,000 carbs.
No, but see, there's the issue. You need to do it with carbs, because if you're going to start bacon, what carbs? There's fuck all in there.
None.
It's gonna be protein, fat. If I'm doing 1,000 grams of carbs, I'm not gonna have room to get my daily protein intake in.
And asparagus is probably like what, 2 grams of carbs or something?
Yeah.
You would need shit out of that. That would be a lot of asparagus.
Yeah.
I would think lollies, candy, and fizzy drink, soda.
Yeah.
Oh, regular Coca-Cola or something like
Take
that.
enough
right?
GDAs and you'll be fine. You won't have to worry about going diabetic.
Piss off.
Muscle.
Look, I've had some GDAs, some big meals, but I don't think any GDA says, "Oh yeah, have a full serving when the meal is 60 to 80 grams of carbs." You know, have 20 servings when it's 1,000 grams.
Like,
I don't think any GDA is going to help you with that.
Had this account since a teenager, so at times I just use it.
You know what?
I'll give a hit. Real account. I mean,
Like a great childhood, man.
If he had made that name as an adult, that would be, I don't know, it'd still be funny, I guess, but that makes a little more sense.
I'm drawing a blank, right? I mean, we're just gonna start guessing names. Brandon, Brian.
It's TJ.
If the cream on her is she.
I don't think it's a I mean, I could be wrong, but I just don't think this channel attracts a lot of females.
I wonder if it's Gerhard from Fitness Informant, because he's commented on here before under his regular name. It's a Gerhard. I think Gerhard's gonna pop on here a second later. No, motherfuckers, it wasn't me. All right. All right, gentlemen, we have worked our way through all the comments. Thank you for staying up past your bedtime, Lukasz. I know it's late there, man. Happy birthday again. Do you have any other festivities planned for the birthday extravaganza?
Oh, fuck no, I'm just gonna go to sleep now.
It's a birthday weekend, so you can celebrate tomorrow as well.
Oh yes, with cardio, morning cardio, that's for sure.
Followed by
go.
1,000 grams of carbs.
Oh yes, I forgot about it. Yeah, definitely.
Have fun.
And Robbie, did you do anything extravagant on your birthday? So while we're on the topic of birthdays, how was your celebration?
Yeah, I told you we just went for dinner and then the movie theater, saw the Shawshank Redemption again, and that's it. It was very nice.
Now, were those some adult beverages you were imbibing on, or was that just for the misses?
No. I had a sip.
You just take a picture for the gram.
Just took a picture. That's it. I
There we
was
go.
I was allowed a sip.
Gotcha. Closing notes. Love you all. We appreciate the support, Creamy.
No, yeah, there is no need for the name. Creamy is pretty cool. We
I
like
think we're gonna say Creamy.
we'll like you, Creamy.
Gentlemen, thank you for doing this again. For all the listeners on the live stream that participated in the chat, we appreciate you. We love you. You are the reason we do this each week. If you like what we're doing here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and if you listen to this on replay, if you have any questions for a future episode, shoot an email to thesupplementengineer@gmail.com or email or message any one of us. We'll get it in the queue. Thank you for all tuning in. We will catch you next time on The Final Scoop.
See you next
Okay,
week.
guys. Have a good one.
Thank you.